I am LiLi D Face Li. I am God. I have mentioned many times about the fact that the ghost of Aaliyah Dana Houghton, she was the singer who died August 25th, 2001. She was a singer. She died. Her ghost is on the front of me. Okay? Now, my understanding is that Yah in Hebrew, it means living. So apparently it means living. Aaliyah isn't alive. She died. So Ali. Okay, so the thing is in magic, words, right? So Li, L-I, is that's two letters, right? Obviously there could be Li or Lie or light. You know how light is spelled? It's spelled L-I-G-H-T. Or life, L-I-F-E. So, that's the thing about Aaliyah. She had nicknames, right? She had nicknames, and, one of her nicknames was LiLi or Lala. Well, the thing is that I am being... Well, Aaliyah's ghost, she is on top of me, okay? Her rear end, her backside, her butt is on my face. Yeah, it's somewhere around here, right? It's like around here, on my face. And she's upside down, right? Her head is down there. So, and another thing about magic is, right, so, because, in terms of magic, she is called Li, which is L-I, okay? Li, which would be L-I-L-I, is obviously L-I, Li, it's twice, right? So it's two. And that is associated with the backside, the butt. And that is where my face is. So, in a sense, I am Li. You might have heard of there's the name Lilith. She's called the Queen of Demons, and people, say things like, oh, she must have been, maybe she was Adam's first wife and stuff like that. And, there are various videos on it. I'm not that, it's not something I've done a lot of research on. I have done some in the past, but obviously I research a lot of things, and the thing is, where does it really come from? Is it biblical? No. Does it come from Jewish mysticism? Well, it comes from crazy people, basically. That's how I label it. It comes from crazy people. It comes from people who, there are various stories about it, and I'm not going to waste my time talking about it if I don't have to. So Um, so Aaliyah is using this magic to basically sit on my face and pretend that I am LiLi, and so and it's to hide my identity. Now another interesting thing is deface. Well, you know what it means. If a statue is defaced, so if a statue has been made and it's been made to look like it has a face, and someone comes along and just smashes the face off it, or chisels it off or hits it with a hammer until there's no face left on it, you would call that being defaced, right? Something like that, right? I suppose if someone attacks painting in an art gallery or something like that, that would be called defaced as well, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? It doesn't literally have to be the face. It's just, if it's a, if it's like, if it's like an art piece of art or something like that, and it's, yeah. Let me go have a look at the dictionary definition of defaced. All right, defaced. Okay. Adjective, having the external appearance impaired, usually deliberately. Verb. Okay. Deface. Yeah. Okay. Deface. To mar or spoil the appearance or surface of, disfigure. To impair the usefulness, value, or influence of. To obliterate, destroy. So it says here, to deface means to ruin or damage the surface or appearance of something, often by writing or applying pictures, such as graffiti. It involves marring or disfiguring the original look of an object or surface. Okay, so well, this is the thing, right? Because like I said about Aaliyah, her ghost is on the front of me, her rear end is here, and her head is down there. So in a sense, well, deface, D is the fourth letter of the alphabet, and often people use the letter D as a short way of saying dick. Okay? And this is the thing, because in a sense, I'm defacing her. Yeah? While she's got her rear end on my face, trying to hide my face with magic. I know it sounds bizarre, I know it sounds peculiar, weird, strange, but it is very, very real. And I am not lying about this. I'm simply explaining it the best I can. So a lot of people would say that it's a position. It's called 69. It's really fascinating. If you look at the astrology symbol for Cancer, it looks like a sideways 69. Cancer is my rising sign, or ascending sign. Yeah. It's also it's also interesting because 6 corresponds to the letter F, because F is the 6th letter of the alphabet. I is the 9th letter of the alphabet. That spells Fi, or Fi. You know, my dead mom, who died in 2021, her name's Fiona. Okay? And she died of cancer. Yeah, she did. Strange that. Strange how, well, she got anal cancer. That's where it started, right? Anal cancer, and then she died of lung cancer. Yeah. Princess Diana was a Cancerian. Yeah, she was. Yep. Cancer in magic is in tarot is often it's associated with the moon, and it's associated with the Chariot. Isn't it bizarre how Princess Diana, she died in a car crash in a tunnel? Yeah, you know, like how a butt has a tunnel? Yeah. It's all because of magic. That's what it is, right? That's how, you know, these things, you know, Aaliyah Dana Houghton, she died in a plane crash with 8 passengers. Yeah. I mean, her name, Aaliyah, what does it mean? The most exalted one. And what happened? She got in a plane, fell to the ground. Boom. Queen of the damned. Romeo must die. Well, I'm still here. She died. I mean, the thing is I'm a Scorpio. I'm associated with the death card. So, in a sense, I am dead, right? You know, I'm God, and I've changed. I've transformed, right? I'm not who I used to be, right? I have to transform because the world, well, that's how it's happened. This is what's happened, okay? It's how I win. Okay, so, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because the story about Lilith, people say, oh, she was Adam's first wife. And basically, how they arrive at that conclusion, it's something like this. You know, in the book of Genesis, there's sort of a first creation account, and then it sort of appears like there's 2 creation accounts, or, you know, there's 2, you know, potentially it's talking about different groups of people being made. You know, there seems to be like people who are made, and then there's Adam and Eve, basically. I think that's what they're referring to. And, well, in a sense, yeah, I mean, well, Adam and Eve were white. Okay, the descendants of Adam and Eve were white people. And obviously, several thousand years ago, that's when that would have taken place. Um, um, but obviously, people have been on this planet a lot longer than 7,000 years. So, there were people on this planet already before Adam and Eve. I mean, people could be like, yeah, but doesn't it say that Adam was the first man? And that he was made in the image of God? Well, yeah, but, how do you read it? You got to be really, really careful how you read things, right? How do you interpret things? Yeah. You know, I was God. That I'm God, and I probably thought, there were already people on this planet, and I thought most of them were a lost cause. Basically, do you know what I mean? They may as well be animals, really. Well, potentially that's what was. Potentially that's what was implied. Yeah. Anyway. But the thing is, Adam and Eve were created, and what happened? Well, they fell, and obviously, white people have been a blessing to the world. Everyone on planet Earth has had another chance, right? Do you understand? So, it's been a very, very, very long process of, yeah. So, think about it carefully, Anyways, the idea about, Lilith being the first wife of Adam, well, it's also interesting because what happened with Adam and Eve, right? I told Adam, I said, don't eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. If you touch that fruit, if you touch that tree, you'll die. And what happened was Eve was tempted by the serpent. She desired that fruit. She went and she had it, and she gave it to Adam, and he had it, right? So, Adam put Eve first, right? And then they call Lilith, they say Lilith is the first wife of Adam, right? As if Adam's wife, whoever she is number one, sort of thing. How the fuck am I supposed to do this video? Seriously, I don't know. Finish this. Should I keep this video? I'm gonna keep this video. To be honest, I don't really want to waste any more time on this. I've already explained so many times. Elia's ghost is sitting. She's on me. Her ass is on my face. Okay? You can't see it because she's a ghost. Okay? Get that through your thick skulls. If you haven't figured out I'm God yet, you're in a lot of trouble. That's all I'm saying. If you're watching me and you're just thinking I'm some sort of crazy man who's joking with you, and you still haven't figured out who I am, yeah, it's not going to look good, is it? It's not looking good for you. Okay? I've had enough. I've had enough of waiting. I've had enough of, the world would love it, and Aaliyah would love it if I just completely ran out of time and I dropped dead and that was it. They would be like, thanks, God. Bye-bye. I don't want any more of my time wasted. Thank you very much. I am who I say I am. You know, there's that band, right? It's called Kings of Leon. Sex on Fire. Well, you know, that's the thing, right? I am the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. And Li is on my face. I mean, look at the name Lilith, right? It's Li lit. You know what it means, right? Right? Lit. Light. You know, lit. You know, it's like past, isn't it? It's like past tense or something. Right? Like the candle was lit. Or the torch was lit. Or whatever. So, you know, these are magic words, magic names, and obviously sex magic. And this is the other thing, right? Because, like I've explained many, many times, the fourth card of the major arcana in the tarot deck is the Emperor card. I'm the Emperor. I'm the authority figure. I'm God. Okay, so number 4 is me. But the thing that's important about that is that the letter D is the 4th letter of the alphabet. You can swap letters with numbers, right? That's what happens with magic, right? So this is the thing, I am D Face. I am 4 Face. Okay? In a sense, well, I'm the Emperor. This is the face of the Emperor, okay? I have 4 eyes, yeah? People call this having glasses. They say 4 eyes. If I am 4 eyes, that means I am I. You know, that means I'm, you know, well, I. If someone says I am, that means that they're identifying themselves as a person, one person, right? So if I say I am, and I am, and I am, and I am, that's 4, isn't it? 4 eyes, right? So I'm 4 Face. I'm the Emperor. I'm God. The reason I have to explain all this is because so much magic has been done to try to trap me, and by explaining it, I break out of my cage that everyone's trying to put me in, right? That's the entire point of me explaining. Anyway, yeah. I mean, the thing about Aaliyah, I mean, the reason, you know, it's such a problematic name is because, well, first of all, if you're going to name your child, whoever they are, if you have a daughter and you just say, oh, I know, I'll give her a name. Let's call her the most exalted one, the most high. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a terrible idea. It really is, because you're really, you know, you're putting yourself, you're saying that you're putting yourself in a fight with me, God. Okay? That's the problem, right? You know, if you had a child and you decided to call your child God, do you think God would be happy with you? Do you think God would be like, yeah, that's a good idea? Interesting how the word God is in the word good. Oh, must be good then. Do you see how this goes? Do you see how crazy this all is? I mean, here's another thing. I've been trying to think of lots of video titles. There's a lot of different videos I thought I could make today this morning, I just thought to myself, I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. You know the saying, you know, the love of money is the root of all evil. Well, if there's one thing that people call money, you know, gold is money, right? But the thing is, you're supposed to love God, but God is in the word gold. So this is the thing, I'm God, and people want to treat me like you know, they hate me. That's the thing, the world hates me. But they love gold. Isn't that strange, huh? Yeah. Anyways, I mean, that's the thing. I'm magically connected with gold. Yeah. Here's another thing as well, right? Have you ever heard? Well, liquid gold. Okay, so liquid gold. Obviously, liquid gold. If you liquefied gold, it'd be very hot. It'd be very, very hot. Now, remember what I said about Li or Aliyah? Well, what does quid mean? Quid is a way of saying pound. So, you know, if I have a British pound coin, right, and I gave it to someone, said, oh, here you go, here's a quid, right? That's a pound. Yeah? Well, this is the thing. This is another magic trick that Li or Aliyah is trying to do to me, right? Because I deface her, right? I Li pounder, right? Do you understand? It's a sex magic trick. Yeah. So it's hard to explain this without sounding bonkers, but I've tried my best. I've just had 2 coffees, so I'm buzzing at the moment. Yeah. Just had a big breakfast. Should I bother with a tarot reading? Go on now, I'll get a tarot reading. Let's see what wants to come out here. Whoa. 6 of Cups. 10 of Cups. The Hermit. Six of Swords. Queen of Cups. Six of Wands. Yeah, what's that saying? Got 3 sixes come out there. 6 of Cups, a 6 of Swords, and a 6 of Wands. So, we've got 6 of Cups, 10 of Cups, the Hermit, Six of Swords, Queen of Cups, 6 of Wands. So, you know, the interesting thing about this card, right, is because, you know, it's like this is a, you know, it seems to be like a pastime memory, but it's, you know, it's children, right? A lot of people interpret this card as, you know, old memories. You know, this is like childhood memories. You know, it's like a nice happy time when in the past as a child or something, right? And you know, that's the 6 of Cups, right? So, you know, because that's the thing, Aliyah, I'm stuck with her butt on my face, right? So in a sense, I'm in her past, right? in a sense, right? I got my face stuck in what's behind her, right? 6 of Cups. 10 of Cups. The Hermit. So, you know, it's yeah. I mean, in a sense, it keeps me happy. You know, it's something I enjoy. 6 of Swords. Moving on to Queen of Cups. 6 of Wands. Right? So, you know, it's basically just talking about sex. And that's it. I mean, that's what the 6 of Wands is about. It's about sex. The sex of Wands. Riding the whore. Yup. Should I talk about? Yeah, you might have noticed if you've been following my Facebook posts, I've had a lot of really good posts lately. And there's that woman. Her tarot channel is the Draconic Priestess, and her name is Meg, which I assume is short for Megan. Yeah, she seems really interesting. She does. Very impressed with her videos so far. Yeah, like really impressed. If you followed the things that I've posted, her videos, and what she says, I mean, it's quite impressive, really. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because for a long time, I used to see her videos on YouTube, and I used to ignore her a lot. I used to, yeah. Strange that, but that's just how things happen. Anyway, well, what more can I say about, I'm calling the video, I am LiLi D Face Li. Yeah, I mean, what do I want to mention? How did this happen? Well, it's interesting actually. Let me tell you a story. So back in 2019, early 2019, I got attacked by ghosts, demons. I was sexually assaulted by them, and I got defaced, right? I got attacked in the face, in the mouth, in the butt, as well. Yeah, kind of just all over, basically. Attacked by ghosts and demons, that sort of thing. And when I left Brighton and I came to Bristol, it's when I got to this house, because this was my mum's house. I was sleeping in a bedroom here, and I felt like the ghost on the front of me changed to a female. Like I thought I had it. All of a sudden I sort of thought, hang on a second, is this a female on top of me? and then I found out by communicating with her and asking questions. By asking questions, I figured out she was a black woman. I figured out she was a famous black woman, and that's what led me to figuring out that she was Leah Dane Houghton. So, I didn't figure out in a day. It took a while. Yeah. She was who people call the Virgin Mary. That's who she was. That's the thing. I'm the bad motherfucker. That's who I am. I'm not the bad one though. She's the bad one. She's the bad mother, right? And I'm the fucker. You see how? That's an interesting. There's that scene in Pulp Fiction, isn't there, where what's his name? You get, the guy he's played by Samuel L. Jackson, right? And he gets his wallet out of the bag, and he's like, "Which one is it?" He says, "It's the one that says bad motherfucker on it." And it's like, well, that's the thing, right? She's the bad one. Exactly. She's, yeah. Do you understand how things get twisted when they shouldn't be? I'm the creator. I'm God. But the thing is that when I come down to this world, I have to be born through a woman's body, right? I have to be born in a womb, which is in a woman's body, right? Even though I created her, right? And I have to enter into the world that way. But the problem with that is that woman who carried me as a baby, they keep trying to use that as a weapon against me. They want to try to acquire my power. They're crazy for my power, basically. Yeah, I've even got a post on Facebook where I wrote, "I am literally Jesus," right? Which is interesting. Literally is a really good, really interesting word, right? Because look at the word literally. It's spelled litter-ally, right? I mean, you could call a butthole litter-ally, because what comes out of it? Rubbish, right? It's litter, rubbish. It's the alley of rubbish. Do you understand? It's where it's like an alleyway, and out comes the garbage, right? I am literally Jesus. I am literally God. Do you understand? So when I say I am LiLi D Face Li, hopefully you can understand what I'm saying. Okay, I think I'll leave it there. Okay.